I have so many questions. Here's my first question. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Welcome back to Nero Nation, to Our Hero De Niro, the only podcast that is watching and recapping Robert De Niro's entire filmography in random order. I'm Mike, and with me, as always, is Mike.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened, honestly. I just froze up. I was like, what am I supposed to say here?
Did you
I'm a little
black
out of
out?
practice. It's been
Say
like a
whatever
week
you
and a
wanna
half.
say. Say whatever you want to say,
I'm a little
man.
out of practice. Yeah,
That's
I said it. Hi, everyone.
Mike just came back from a little boys trip, so he forgot how to say hi, apparently.
Yep.
I want to address...
I drank a lot of beer. Yep.
Drank a lot of beer, yeah. It destroyed what few brain cells he had left in his advanced age. I want to address a couple things at the start of this episode. I don't know if they're getting picked up on the microphone, but I have a couple of parakeets in the room with me today during this recording session. And they're usually really quiet, but I think they're excited now that the human is back with them.
Yeah, no, I think they're excited because now they know. They have this knowledge that almost no other bird has, that there's a podcast about Robert De Niro.
That's a good point.
We don't have a lot of bird listeners.
That's a good point.
And they can't read, so they're not on the internet reading about our hero De Niro.
And a lot of listeners, a lot of those who don't know us in real life or don't know me in real life, they might not know how handsome I am. And these birds get to see me in the flesh, leading this podcast, being a man of action, and then going, wow, really handsome guy, 9.5, maybe even a 10. And I'm gonna stick to that story for all the listeners who have never seen me, but don't look me up. Take my word for it. So that's one thing. I think
parakeets probably have pretty bad vision, so maybe they do think you're.
Oh, do they? Good for the.
As far as birds go,
know what?
I think, yep.
There we go. Add that to my list of traits for my ideal, partner, my future wife. Really bad vision. Add that to the list.
Actually, according to Google's AI overview, parakeets have excellent vision, including the ability to see UV light, which humans cannot. This allows them to see a broader range of colors and perceive subtle details that humans cannot.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
And they find me beautiful.
I just didn't want to spread parakeet misinformation.
Thank you. Yes, that we believe we believe in science. We have one of this podcast.
We do. Yep.
We always just have a camera when we record. We have a camera on one of those signs that says all that bullet. What does it say? We in this household we believe in science.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate those.
In this house we believe in Robert De Niro. Yeah.
We should make some merch. Let's contract your wife to do some more unpaid labor for us.
And it's just 6 references to Robert De Niro's most famous roles. That's actually
that's not a bad idea.
That's actually a pretty funny idea. That's a good idea for merch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Let's workshop that. I think that you could pick 6 pretty funny ones. Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any ideas about potential Our Hero De Niro merch, email us at ourherodeniro@gmail.com. Let us know. We'd love to make some money off of this. This is my retirement plan. So the birds, these are Philip's parakeets. He's on a family trip right now, so I'm bird sitting, and they're nice. They're very skittish. I wish they liked humans more. We're working on it. I'm trying to get the FaceTime in with them, so you might hear them in the background. Just hopefully that adds a little fun flavor to the episode. Also, I wanted to let you know, Mike, that after our last episode, about Joy, you were so passionate talking about I Heart Huckabees that... Why are you holding your mic?
I'm so excited that you saved this for the podcast. There's so much fucking noise happening in my house.
I don't know
what's going on.
Okay.
I want to make sure nobody's dying.
Mike was just lifting one of the ear cups of his headphones.
It was picked up on the waveform. There's a visible rise on the waveform from the pounding that's happening in another room in my house.
I get to hear that later when I edit.
I'm so excited that you saved this for the podcast because I thought about asking you. I saw it on Letterboxd, obviously, and I was maybe we'll talk about it in the pod. So
Mike, for those who don't recall or didn't listen to last week's episode about Joy, which you should, Mike you really came out in support of I Heart Huckabees as a better David O. Russell film than Joy. And so I hadn't seen it since undergrad. So I decided literally the next day, I just was fuck it, I'm watching I Heart Huckabees. And I'm glad I did. Good recommendation.
And I saw what you gave it, so I think you too agreed that it was better than Joy.
It was substantially better than Joy. And I think you're right. The tone works so much better in I Heart Huckabees as this absurdist existentialist comedy. I enjoyed a lot about it. I still didn't love it, and I think these birds are going buck wild. I can't wait to.
Just so you know. I'm sure they are being picked up by the mic, but they're not getting picked up by your AirPods.
Very sensitive. I think for me, the ceiling for David O. Russell films, it might be 3.5 out of 5. Like, I think that might just be like...
Is that what you gave Three Kings as well?
Yes. I think that's like as good as it gets for David O. Russell for me. Yep. And we still have, 2 more films? We have Silver Linings Playbook and Amsterdam.
Yep.
I'm not excited for either.
Well, I still hope we roll Silver Linings Playbook today. It was what I hoped we rolled last week. It would have been funniest last week,
honestly,
but I think it would still be quite funny today if we rolled it for next week.
I'd be fine with that too, just to get it out of the way. I wanted to let you know that, and I'm excited today. I didn't even mention it at the top. We're talking about The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't know why I said bull wrong. Weird. I can't wait to deal with that for the next hour. No, I was excited for this film because, as I mentioned, my classmate Zoe has been giving me so much shit to watch this film and Shark Tale for the podcast. And I keep telling her it's a random roll, but we finally got it. And I'm so excited to talk about it with you. Did you grow up watching Rocky and Bullwinkle? Did you have any familiarity with the franchise? What's your history here?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I know a lot about Rocky and Bullwinkle or anything. When we were kids, right? If we've got any Zoomers listening to this podcast, when we were kids, there was a channel called Cartoon Network. I don't know if that even still exists, but Cartoon Network had things on it that I don't think exist anymore, like these programming segments that they would do during parts of the day. And there was a programming segment that Cartoon Network had when I was in high school that came on, I think maybe at 10 or 11 p.m. called Boomerang. And Rocky and Bullwinkle was one of the shows that was on Boomerang, and it was called Boomerang because it was really old cartoons, from the 50s and 60s and 70s. And so when I had insomnia when I was in high school, I would watch Boomerang. So that's the only experience I've had with Rocky and Bullwinkle in my life. So I've probably seen 5 or 10 episodes of it, but incidentally, it never made me seek it out after seeing it on Boomerang.
Right. Pretty similar for me. I remember seeing a few episodes on Boomerang, but this was a TV series from 1959 to 1964. So it wasn't something that we grew up with. And this film, it's one of these classic big film adaptations of an animated property. These were pretty popular back then in the 90s to early 2000s. We had things like the Flintstones live action. Then there were films like the Space Jam, Looney Tunes back in action. So there were a few of these, but I didn't know anything about this film. I didn't grow up watching it. I'd never seen it, so this is totally new for me. And
Caroline had seen it. By the way,
she had seen it. Oh yeah, I'm excited to.
She watched it with me last night. She had seen it while it was in theaters.
In theaters? Wow.
Yep, she saw it. She wanted to see it. She was excited about it at the time. She told me.
Oh, no kidding. Well, that's great. I'm excited to hear what she thought at the end when we do our final ratings. I mean, this film was a bomb. It was it's an historic bomb. Its budget was $76 million, but it only grossed $35 million worldwide.
It's pretty funny.
And from what I was able to find online, it sounds like it was a passion project for Robert De Niro. His film company produced it. He was an executive producer. He had the role of fearless leader. And this film, it is a live action. It's like a hybrid of live action, CGI, and 2D animation. And I think it works to varying degrees, but we'll talk about that.
Certainly. Yeah. Certainly some things work about it.
Some things work about it. It was also interesting going into this. This was a box office flop, and it also had a really poor critical reception. So that's just something to be mindful of as we discuss this film. But should we just get right into it?
Yeah. Before we get into it, I have a question for you because I just want to know what to expect. And I'll answer the question too. Did you laugh at all during this movie?
Yes.
Okay. Me too. I'm excited to share all the times I laughed. Did you note the times that you laughed?
I did not. I was too busy jotting down notes on other shit. No, I mean, I'm really excited to talk about this now. So I'm just gonna try to get into the recap. It's a pretty plot light film.
It's a light film on plot. I think you can get through the recap in about 7 minutes and 15 seconds if you keep it real tight.
And yet I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not there yet. This film starts out animated in the year 1964, the last year of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show, and it's contextualizing where the world was. LBJ was elected, stuff like that, and the Rocky and Bullwinkle show was canceled. So we go to their town. This is all 2D animation, Frostbite Falls, Minnesota, and the town is in bad shape. The narrator, if you don't remember or don't know, that was from the original TV show. The show was structured like a variety show, but the main segments were about the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, but there was a narrator for that. So the narrator is, things are so bad for him that he had to move in with his mom, and she hears him narrating the film and hits him with a pan. So we're kind of getting introduced to the style of humor here.
Very funny stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of meta humor, a lot of fourth wall breaking, a lot of kind of winks and nods to trends at the time. I'm excited for you to talk about when you laughed, because I didn't really note a lot of specific jokes, so I'm excited to get into that with you. And Rocky, the first kind of example of fourth wall breaking we have is Rocky saying the narration is weirding him out, and so he's deciding to go on a walk, and I liked that. I think this sort of meta humor was much less common in the year 2000. I think we kind of take it for granted now with the That's Deadpool funny. Movies and stuff like that, and I feel kind of worn out on it from stuff like that, but I actually found myself enjoying it in this film. So the woods of around their town have been devastated, totally cut down, deforested. And so this sets up Bullwinkle's kind of driving force or whatever in the film. He wants to, fix the forest. So we cut over to Pottsylvania, which is this Soviet country, and we follow up on the history of the three villains from the show, who are Boris, Natasha, they're a married couple, and then Fearless Leader, who is a fascist dictator of Pottsylvania. Basically, the fall of the Iron Curtain and the dissolution of the USSR kind of ruined their plans. So they just ended up, Boris and Natasha just ended up digging underground for some reason, which eluded me, and found some area that would allow them to communicate with the actual live action world in which we all live. So Janine Garofalo, what a world, beautiful world, man, beautiful world. I did note the cheapness of the 2D animation, but I think that is by design. Right? Yeah, it was very noticeable. So Janine Garofalo, this is our second time seeing Janine Garofalo on the podcast after Copland.
Love her.
She, come on. Not? How could you not? She plays a movie executive called Minnie, who's looking for a new project. So Boris, Natasha, and Fearless, Minnie Mogul. That's right. The last names are all.
You sort of, just so you know, you kind of need to say the last names because they're all puns, right?
That's
Boris's
true.
Last name is Badanov, Badanov, Boris Badanov. And Natasha Fatale, which I don't think that one's really a pun, but the last names are important.
Fucking birds. So Boris, Natasha, and Fearless Leader, they managed to video call Minnie through her TV. Impressive technology for the year 2000. And they basically say hey, we're stuck in reruns. Why don't you make a film about Rocky and Bullwinkle? And so she signs a contract through the TV, which the narrator comments on, how there's this technology that's modern, expensive technology that allows her to reach the television. So I enjoyed that shit. And they basically she ends up pulling the three of them out into the real world. And we get our first De Niro reveal at 5 minutes and 48 seconds because he is Fearless Leader. So we see his face converting from 2D to live action as he emerges from the television. And so Robert De Niro is Fearless Leader. Rene Russo is Natasha Fatale. And Jason Alexander, a.k.a. George Costanza, plays Boris Badenov. And how do you feel about the casting so far? I love the casting in this film.
It's so good. It's easily the best thing about the movie. All of these actors are so good. And they all do a good job.
They all commit to the material.
Yep.
I had a comment on Jason Alexander because for those who don't know, my fictional character doppelganger is George Costanza. That's
his celebrity doppelganger.
My celebrity doppelganger. Yeah, I am basically, if you ever want to understand me more deeply, just think about George Costanza, only with more hair. So Minnie visits her boss in the film company, but he doesn't like moose pictures, as he says. So he denies that picture from being made or stops from being made.
Smartest guy in the movie, just so you know, because he was right. The movie was a huge bomb.
It's no one asked for this.
That's the funniest meta joke that was totally unintentional. Is that this film executive totally forecasts what's going to happen, and
you're totally right.
It's no, this is not a good idea.
Right? No one wants the '90s edgy live action remake of this defunct children's cartoon from 30 years ago. I guess nowadays people do want that a lot, though. Like, there's probably no property that you couldn't mine or couldn't mine, for content. So Bullwinkle, meanwhile, he wants to visit Washington, D.C. to talk to the president about the trees, but they run into red tape, which is like literal red tape. So we cut to 6 months later, and we're introduced to the main like human protagonist of the film, Karen Sympathy, played by Piper Perabo. Who I only know
Covert Affairs fame.
Yep. The only reason I know her is because she was the star of USA's Covert Affairs for 5 seasons. Did you ever watch Covert Affairs?
For me, oh yeah, that was the first really bad USA show.
Oh really? Like Blue Skies.
Yeah, I remember watching Covert Affairs, and I thought Piper Perabo was hot, and I thought the conceit was interesting, and I was like, whatever.
Is it Piper Perabo or Piper Perabo?
I guess I don't know.
I don't know either. I've never heard it pronounced.
Here, hang on. It's Perabo. According to the phonetics in the Wikipedia article.
We'll try that. Let us know, De Niro Nation. Email us at ourherodeniro@gmail.com. Piper Perabo. Yeah, I never watched Covert Affairs. But I saw the ads all the time during episodes of like Psych and White Collar.
It was like Burn Notice was sort of like on the bubble.
Yeah.
Burn Notice was next. Like it was like Monk, then Psych, then Burn Notice got really big. And I thought Burn Notice was pretty bad. But then Covert Affairs came out and I watched it and I was like, man, this show is trash. Like this is not good. But good for her. Yep.
Yeah, good for her. I think this is like her first major role. Apparently her breakout role was Coyote Ugly, but I never saw that film. So I've
never seen that movie.
Yeah. So she plays Karen Sympathy, an FBI agent who we can tell is not very good at her job. Sounds like kind of a klutz. Not very good, but you know, she's idealistic. She's well-intentioned. Meanwhile, the president's in the Oval Office and they're like cable TV. There's like an emergency because all of cable TV has been taken over by an announcement that RBTV is coming. And apparently Fearless Leader has been buying every cable network up. I don't know where he got the money from. And now he's going to create this network, RBTV, which stands for Really Bad Television. And they're worried that Fearless Leader is going to use this to influence the populace and make a run for the presidency.
So I need to say something else really quick.
Oh, sure.
So you missed it. Number one, the president's name is President Sign-Off, which is another funny pun. But also he's played by James Rebhorn, who played Dr. Bob's dad in Meet the Parents.
Oh, that's right.
So this is also his second appearance.
The Robert De Niro cinematic universe. It's building.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, there's also a nice meta joke too, like when the villains convert from 2D to live action, the narrator comments on how they like went from being expensive 2D animation to much more expensive celebrities. It's like I enjoyed the
yeah. It's funny.
So
I haven't laughed yet, just so you know, but these jokes are all funny.
I don't remember when I laughed, but I did laugh. I definitely laughed more than I did in Dirty Grandpa.
That's pretty funny to me. Yep. I definitely did not.
Oh, yeah. You know. That's interesting. Yep. Did Caroline laugh? Yep. It's the Caroline check. How was she doing?
It's tough to say. She laughed when I laughed, and it's hard to say whether she would have if I hadn't laughed. My laughs were always first. Yep.
That's really good. Okay. Caroline, if you want to defend yourself, email ourherodeniro@gmail.com. I checked that inbox.
I have a rating, just so you know, because she didn't post it on Letterboxd. I texted her for it, so I'll have it to share when we come around and do our rating.
Awesome. I'm excited. So Sympathy is walking with her boss, whose name I do not remember, and he's played by Randy Quaid. And basically, she has 46 hours to fix this situation, and she decides to recruit Rocky and Bullwinkle because they have a history of taking down Fearless Leader Boris and Natasha. So she infiltrates a prison for some reason. Why did she infiltrate the prison?
No, it's incredible. You're skipping so much.
No, I'm not. I took notes on the entire thing. She doesn't infiltrate
the prison. She gets arrested. And then she goes to prison. She's arrested by state troopers, but that's like 20 minutes after.
That's not what I'm talking about. She infiltrates some sort of building or something. She jumps on a trampoline and she like shoots up the building. It's like the Mumbai scene in Tenet, but way less cool.
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.
She like
memory of this happening.
Oh yeah. No. Okay. So she infiltrates this building or complex or whatever, jumps on a trampoline to go up to the top of a building, and then like runs into a lighthouse. And when the light turns on, it shines this beacon in the cartoon world where Rocky and Bullwinkle on, and then they get sucked into it. This is how they come into the real world.
I think I might have gotten up and peed at this part, honestly.
Incredible. Yeah. For those who don't know, Mike takes pee breaks during movies like literally every 30 minutes. It's like watching a sitcom on network TV. You can like time it to the end credits and commercial break. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, so that's how Rocky and Bullwinkle, it made no sense to me. It was a crazy sci-fi conceit, but they like enter through this wormhole or whatever in the lighthouse, and they emerge as CGI. So I want to ask you, what did you think of the CGI Rocky and Bullwinkle? Did it work for you? Did it look good to you?
I'm so happy you're stopping here, because I really want to remark at this point. And so I was going to stop you at this moment, and I'm happy that you did it for me. So up until this point, I remember thinking like, this isn't very funny, and like the story's pretty bad. But I was thinking, like, I kind of really like the way it looks.
Oh boy.
And when the cartoon Rocky and Bullwinkle popped on the screen, this was one of my laughs, just so you know. But it was more of a derisive laugh.
Yeah.
Because I could not believe how bad it looked. And like, I laughed because I had just allowed myself to have the thought, like not 60 seconds prior, that I liked the way the movie looked. And then I was like, oh no, I don't. I hate the way this movie looks. And that made me laugh. So that's one of them.
They look bad, and
oh my gosh, it's unbelievable.
They look like a PlayStation 1 game's attempt at cell shading. It doesn't. They're too. They're
rendering at 8 FPS.
Yeah. Well, they still maintain a very cartoon. It's like if you made the cartoon in 3 dimensions and didn't have an outline around them. But the problem is, like, there's no fur shading of any sort. It's the year 2000. But they also like don't really have shadows. Like, they don't quite look like they're in the real physical world. It kind of looks like you're not going to know this reference, but it looks like that one episode of The Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror episode where Homer like enters the real world. It's like 1995, like CGI, and he's like in the real physical world for like 2 minutes. It kind of looks like that, where it's like, I'm having difficulty suspending my disbelief, but I can manage for 1/3 of a Simpsons episode, whereas it's a little harder in this Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. I don't know how they would do it now, though. I think they'd probably go like really super realistic CGI, but I feel like that would look so weird too, like a bipedal moose. I
don't know. I mean, maybe if we get invited to Tribeca Film Festival, we can ask Robert De Niro about this.
I'd love that so much.
Like how he'd do it if he like had another chance. But I do really think, like, I don't know how you could possibly have made this movie good. I mean, I think that's the issue. Like, I think everybody's doing a good job. It's just like, I don't know if this is a very good idea. And like to your point about the animation, like, it's like, I don't know, they could make it look really good. They could make it look really bad, like they did here. Like, I don't think it would look good even if it looked really good. Like, I just don't think this idea is good. It's pretty funny, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, context for the listener to keep in mind as we power through here. So the Rocky and Bullwinkle, for those who don't know, I guess I should clarify, Rocky is a flying squirrel and Bullwinkle is a moose. Yeah, I don't want to take that for granted. I don't know.
And they have full human names.
Oh, yes,
so Rocky is short for Rocket. It's Rocket J Squirrel. And Bullwinkle is Bullwinkle J Moose. And like, that is pretty funny.
That is pretty good. I do like that.
There's a lot of stuff that's much more conceptually funny than like its actual execution. But, like the puns are funny. They're not funny enough to make me laugh, but like you got to respect it. Like they're pretty good. Oh
puns. No, there are a lot of puns in this film. A lot of like fourth wall breaking. A lot of meta humor.
Yep.
And the villains, De Niro, Russo, and Alexander, they all commit to a very like outlandish, cartoonish performance. And we'll talk about the quality of that later on. But so they're CGI. They're in the real world, and Rocky tries to fly off of the building to escape, but he has lost his ability to fly. And so he smacks into the ground, but he's still alive. He's fine, whatever. So they escape into Piper Parabo's Volkswagen New Beetle. Birds are going buck wild right now. I don't know if any of this is going to pick up on the microphone anyways. And so Karen's sympathy, she's having a conversation with Rocky and Bullwinkle because she was a big fan of theirs growing up, but like as an FBI agent has felt the need to like set aside, like kind of snuff out her inner child. But her inner, like one of the bits here in the movie is that her inner child becomes visible in like a close up of her pupil and like says like, no, I'm still here. And like, but she kind of like shuts it back down. I thought it worked here because Piper Perabo, or however I'm supposed to pronounce her fucking name, she's really good at playing this character like very sweetly and innocently. And I actually really liked her performance.
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. I like all the performances, honestly. Like,
yeah, same.
It's good. Yep.
And so they're driving away.
The thing for me with Piper Perabo in the movie is like, what's up with the costumes in this movie? Like in particular, her outfit is very odd to me. Like, what are they trying to do here? Like, I was thinking about one of the things I thought about while I was watching this, and I think is pretty funny, is like, you know, people have varying degrees of information about what the world is actually like. And like, there probably is some like really ignorant person out there who is just like the world's least worldly person who's like primary exposure to the FBI as a concept was like seeing this movie when they were a kid, and they just like think this is what the FBI is like and when I thought it was during the one scene where they show like the FBI and it's just like 10 desks and like an open concept bullpen, and there's like 3 agents like spread across the 10 desks, and I was just thinking like, how funny would it be if that's what you took away? Like that's what your like archetype for like an FBI field office is just like these goofballs in like ill-fitting suits. Like really good shit.
That probably
yeah, what's up with that?
That probably was Caroline's conception of what an FBI office looked like. She watched that in theaters. Honestly, she probably still thought that right until she like heard you say that in the podcast right now.
Sound off, our Hero De Niro listeners. Why don't you email us a picture of what you think the average FBI field office looks like? Okay, just sketch it out on some paper.
Yeah, thank you. So the narrator establishes that it's going to be a road movie, which, you know, whatever, a lot of these sorts of animated adaptations are. And so music starts playing in the car, and we establish, because the radio's off, we establish that Rocky's antlers work as like radio antenna somehow, which what are they made out of?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. This is where we hear Bullwinkle say the phrase "getting jiggy with it." And
oh my God,
that's like, I think maybe for me, it honestly might be the low point of the film.
I have to agree.
Yeah, it was like so just like noticeably of its time. Like that and the CGI are like what really date this film.
It's not just getting jiggy with it for me. It's the whole discussion about hip hop and like the reaction they have to hip hop music is just like, what are we doing here? Like, yeah. It was the least funny part of the movie for sure. And I was like, man, like what, really? I got like another 45 minutes of this?
Yeah,
like,
that stood out to me.
Yeah. Yep. I'm really happy we're very aligned on this so far. Although, I think you laughed more than I did.
I am so excited to know what your final rating is going to be. Like you have like as soon as I finished the movie, I was like, I cannot wait to just like discuss this with him and find out. So we're at RBTV headquarters, and De Niro is really committed to his role as fearless leader, and I love it.
He really is. Like
he's so good at comedy, and I think we've seen him more as he's good as a straight man, but he's also good as like the wacky like whatever. Like he plays this really well.
Goofball weirdo.
Yeah. And they're demonstrating some sort of machine, and I don't really know the specifics of it, but basically it is the same machine that Jim Carrey's character uses in Batman Forever. You remember that movie?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays the Riddler.
Called the CDI.
CDI, that's right.
Computer degenerating imagery.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's
a reference to CGI, like it's like another pun.
Yep. So for those who don't remember Batman Forever, that was the 1995 Batman film where Jim Carrey plays the Riddler and creates some machine that like blasts hyper powerful TV signals into people's brains and turns them into actual zombies. So it's like the same thing here with the CDI in this film.
Was that over the top? I can never tell.
But that's not what it is, just so you know. What the CDI does is it destroys them by uploading them to the internet.
Well, it destroys 2D animation by doing it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That's the joke.
There is a TV thing later on. Okay. They do. Yeah. Okay. They do that though. They turn the people into zombies later on. Okay, you're right. So the CDI...
That's from the TV. That's Fearless Leader's plan.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He is going to zombify the U.S. population such that they will vote for him to be president of the United States.
Yes.
Like, this is established kind of subtly earlier in the film, but there is a presidential campaign going on. Like, this is close to election season.
Gotcha.
Sign-Off is running for re-election. Like, he has an opponent whose entire platform is that President Sign-Off is like too much of a moderate, like milquetoast, boring politician. And like Fearless Leader's plan is to like co-opt the election and like zombify the U.S. population into electing him president, since he has been deposed from his position as the dictator of Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. Yep. Great explanation. So
this plot of this movie is so simple, and you like understood so little about it.
I understood. Listen, man. There's a lot going on, okay? So De Niro, he records a message to the world and distributes it through RBTV. Meanwhile, our heroes are driving, and Sympathy is jaded from being in the FBI, and a safe drops out of the sky and almost hits them. So Boris and Natasha are trying to kill them. They have a confrontation, like face to face, and the good guys end up stealing the truck that Boris and Natasha like drove, because they're going through so much of this movie, and this is a real knock against it for me. It's a road movie, which whatever, I'm kind of indifferent to, but like you can tell they shot this for cheap, because so much of the movie just takes place with them like driving through like the middle of nowhere, like long stretches of highway in like the Midwest. Yeah. And it's just, they come back to that sort of shot a lot in this film. And I'm like, I get it. You didn't have a lot of budget. Why did you make it a road movie? So Fearless Leader calls Boris and Natasha after this botched murder attempt. And De Niro, as Fearless Leader, he does a parody of the famous "You Talking to Me" scene from Taxi Driver.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Where he like asks Boris and Natasha if they're talking to him because he's like getting pissed off at them for being inept.
Are you talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here. So you must be talking to me.
How'd you feel about this gag?
Yeah, you want to know something?
Yeah.
I didn't even get it. I didn't get the reference. That's how I felt about the gag. Yeah, it didn't work on me so much that I didn't get that it was referencing something. I found it really confusing. And unlike you, I have seen Taxi Driver within the past year and a half.
That's what I was going to ask. I've never seen Taxi Driver. Now I'm saving it for the podcast, but I knew the reference.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know the reference. I just I didn't even get what he was doing. I was just like, why is he asking that?
Why is he asking?
I didn't understand. It was such nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. I never in a million years would I have guessed that he just didn't catch the reference at all. It's Mina Mencia in action. So they're in the Great Plains now, which is like this it's like stereotypical horrible suburban sprawl kind of highway where like every roadside sign is for a hotel or a burger restaurant, while Boris and Natasha walk in the desert and very luckily find a helicopter in the middle of nowhere, so that the chase is back on. Sympathy talks about how she can't blow this mission because she has a kind of a bad history at the bureau. And a cop pulls them over. So this is another very 90s reference. When the cop pulls them over, it becomes a parody of the show Cops, which honestly, the music was really close to being the exact. You got this one? Thank God. I
got this one. Yep.
This is one of many celebrity cameos. John Goodman plays the cop and arrests them. And they try explaining the situation to him. And he replies glibly, "Yeah, and I'm John Goodman." So another layer of another meta joke. Yeah, I like John Goodman. Happy to see him for a minute, I'll take it.
Yep.
So Sympathy tells Rocky and Bullwinkle they have to get to New York, where RBTV headquarters is. It's a De Niro film, of course. It's going to be in New York, but they have to get there by 8 p.m. tomorrow, while she gets sent to prison, basically. So Rocky and Bullwinkle, they're walking now. No cars will pick them up because they're a cartoon moose and squirrel. They get run over by a truck, but then 2 college students driving a convertible pick them up, and it's Keenan and Kel of Good Burger fame.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
That's pretty good, right? Yep.
Yeah, it was nice seeing them too. I am the only person I know who watched Good Burger 2 when it came out on Paramount Plus last year.
Yep.
It wasn't very good, but I think I gave it 2 stars because it was like weird enough to like kind of maintain my interest. I don't know why it just admitted to the world.
Where that ends up falling in relation to your rating for this film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I have the number in my head.
Yep.
Fearless leader comes up with a plan to get Bullwinkle an honorary degree from his alma mater, Wasamata U, so that Bullwinkle will come to give a speech and then they'll kill him. Which I guess, so Bullwinkle, the characterization of these guys, for those who haven't seen the show, Bullwinkle is like very well-intentioned but stupid, and Rocky is more pragmatic, I would say, and peppy. How would you describe their personalities?
Yeah, I honestly think that like Bullwinkle's characterization in this film is like kind of confusing, because I agree, like he is supposed to be stupid, but he isn't, right? Like, I don't think we've gotten to it yet, but like there's the scene where he like testifies on his own behalf in the courtroom. And like the thing he fucks up is that he like accidentally testifies like, you know, in support of the prosecution rather than in support of the defense, which is what he's supposed to be doing. But like his testimony's good, you know? So it's like he's smart, like he seems to understand things and he's able to like explain things well, but he's just like a directionally incorrect decision maker. Like it's like very odd, like the way that he's characterized.
Yeah, I guess I agree with you. I knew you'd come in clutch for that.
Yeah. I thought about it a lot while I was watching it. I was like, what's going on here? Like, what are they trying to do with this character?
Not me. I was just enjoying the ride, man. That's
Listen,
how,
I know, man. We all know how you watch movies. Okay, you're just along for the ride. There's like no analysis happening.
I want more opinions from the citizens of De Niro Nation. God damn it! When we invite you to email us, we want to get some fucking emails. Anyways, while this is happening, Piper Parabo's in prison, and her and like a guard named Ali are like a Swedish guard named Ali are falling for each other. So Keenan's car, while they're driving, Keenan's car receives a fax, which real blast from the past. It's the letter from Wasamata U, and they explain that the university converted from animation to live action a few years ago, and there's like an anti-moose march happening on campus or something. We cut back to prison, and Sympathy is getting in with the hot guard. Things are working out, and she's like, she's telling him, proposing that he help her escape prison. So she's working on that. Bullwinkle, they decide they have time to make this diversion to Wasamata U and attend this outdoor degree ceremony. This is where I noted how heavily the film relies on narration. It feels like it's held together by the narration. It's extremely constant. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt weaker for it, even though I did like the narrator as a character. And I liked the meta relationship he had with the events happening in the film. But they do it all. This movie's only 96 minutes long, and like a significant portion of it, percentage-wise, is narration.
The narrator is speaking for at least 20 minutes of the hour and a half runtime. Like, he's always talking. Yeah, I agree. Yep.
So there's another murder attempt. Boris tries to use the CDI, but, fucks it up. And so after the ceremony... I
loved this part, by the way. Like, this I found so funny. Here's another derisive laugh for me. Caroline and I were kind of cracking up about this. Why does he climb the water tower as the ceremony's starting? It's like he made the water tower, and like I think like you would be up there like before like the whole crowd showed up or whatever, but like he does it like as the ceremony's starting. It's like what are you doing? Like that for me, like I understand the whole characterization of these people is supposed to be that they're incompetent.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know, that's a whole other level of incompetence. It's like, what was he doing for the like 8 hours it's been since they finished putting up the water tower? Like he just like left? Like, I don't know, come back 20 minutes earlier and like climb up there so that you're a little more
prepared for your assassination attempt. You're right.
Very, very funny. Yep.
So the ceremony ends, and Keenan and Kel decide to give Rocky and Bullwinkle their car. So they're able to go on the road again. Boris and Natasha, they leave
that car, by the way.
Yeah.
That car, by the way, is a mid-90s convertible Chrysler Sebring, which for, a little bit of me lore for our Hero De Niro listeners, that is the car that I learned to drive in.
Wow. The Michael Scott. I forgot. I didn't note the make of the car.
He has an early 2000s one. Like this was specifically the mid 90s model. Like that is the specific one I learned to drive in. The one from the mid 90s. It was in 1996. Yep. How
was it? Those cars were pieces of shit, right? Man. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, I had a Sebring. It was my second car. And the one I had was nice because it wasn't a convertible. The convertibles were terrible because like Chrysler's construction is so poor. And like the partial hard body frame of the convertible, like it just like couldn't hold together with Chrysler's shitty construction. Like it's like you drive like a Volkswagen EOS, like one of those like nice hardtop convertibles. It's like when the top's up, you basically can't tell it's a convertible. Mm-hmm. It's like you can tell when you're driving a Chrysler Sebring that it's a convertible.
That's so
like,
good.
It never really feels like it's closed.
Chrysler quality, baby.
Yep, there you go.
That's really good. Oh, that's a great connection. So they have a car now. Boris and Natasha, they leave the hospital and get back into their helicopter. And Sympathy is in with Ollie. And they are out. She's escaped.
Just so you know.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just that was definitely how it was pronounced. I remember thinking like that's an interesting pronunciation.
Okay.
I don't understand this character. Was this a reference to something, by the way?
Not that I'm aware of. He was just like a hot, dumb guy who speaks with a Swedish accent. That's the character. He's very like innocent.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I didn't get this joke.
No, it didn't even feel like a joke to me. Yeah, it just felt like a weird, like oddball character. I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't funny.
Like, why is he Swedish? Like, it feels like it has to be a joke. Like, otherwise, why would you specifically pick like that background? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand the reference at all. I totally agree. The character did not work for me. And so she tells him like, hey, let's go to the movies together. You go get the tickets and I'll meet you inside. And then she ditches him with the car and just leaves him at the movie theater. So Rocky and Bullwinkle are driving, and they like one of the running gags, I guess, is that they keep noting that they keep seeing the same town or like driving through the same town. Was this just a joke about like the cheapness of the film? What was the punchline of that? Was it just about like how cheap the film was? That probably is just it.
Like repeating like locations.
Yep. It's like sort of like self-deprecating a little bit.
Gotcha. Bullwinkle can't drive, but they make it to Chicago, and people are starting to become hypnotized like in mass. And so like they can't look at the beam or the TV because it will zombify them too, hypnotize them too. So Boris and Natasha, they're closing in on Rocky and Bullwinkle in downtown Chicago, which I enjoyed, like actual filming in a city instead of just like on some rural highway. And we get a Billy Crystal cameo, which I didn't even know what it was, but I was like, Billy Crystal.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm stopping.
Here you go. This is my biggest earnest laugh in the entire movie. I lost it about this. I think conceptually, the idea of a traveling mattress salesman and like the visual...
explain the joke.
This is the Billy Crystal cameo, right? I just realized you didn't say it. So Boris and Natasha, they fuck up using the CDI in their helicopter, and they accidentally disintegrate their helicopter instead of disintegrating Rocky and Bullwinkle. And they fall, and the narrator gives the explanation that they were only saved by the lucky placement of a traveling mattress salesman. And then it cuts to Billy Crystal, and he's like straining to like carry 2 queen-size mattresses on his back, and they like land on him, and like that is so funny. Like, oh my God, just like a traveling mattress salesman. It's like the heaviest thing you could possibly be selling. I'm like laughing just thinking about it. This joke is so funny to me. This is the funniest thing in the entire movie. And like, yeah, it's Billy Crystal. And like it like cuts to him and he makes like a funny face, like he's like crushed by the mattresses. And I was like, this is fucking comedy. Like that's really funny. So that part didn't make you laugh?
Honestly, I laughed more at your recounting of the joke. It is, I didn't like stop to think about that is a really funny idea. Like being a really traveling salesperson of something that's really heavy and like large and cumbersome. You could only walk like 100
feet. Right. Have you ever lifted a mattress? Like I don't even know if like a person of average strength could carry one mattress on their back like 10 feet. Like I think you would collapse so quickly. A queen size mattress weighs like 180 pounds.
No, that is really good. That is really good.
Oh yeah, I was cracking up. That made me laugh.
No,
really
that's
hard.
good. That's good. So Sympathy is in court now, and the judge is played by Whoopi Goldberg. She plays Judge Cameo. See, I noted that last name. So, and I also noted that's Guinan from Star Trek: The Next Generation, baby. Star Trek heads assemble. every now and then, this is it might be letting you people know too much about the nerdy side of me, but every now and then I'll sit in a chair like with armrests, because my office chair, I don't have armrests. I don't think they're good for ergonomics generally, but I'll sit in a chair with armrests and I'll kind of like, position, like kind of like slump a little bit or whatever, like get comfortable. And I just think about like, what kind of captain would I be if I was a Star Trek captain, because you'd have that seat, you'd have that captain's chair with the armrests, and you'd get to sit however you want. And I don't know, it's fun to think about. Same way I think about how would we be in heists? Yeah. How would you be as a Star Trek captain? Oh man, you would call everyone dude and annoy the shit out of them. 30 days into your 5-year mission. It's like, Captain keeps calling me dude. I think he thinks it's cool, but he's like middle aged. It's like, why is he trying to like be hip?
I don't want to think about how I'm middle aged, man. Don't remind me.
I'm sorry. We'll feel so young though when Nora comes back and listens to this, 20, 30 years from now.
True. Oh my God. Yeah. I'll be like banging down the door on retirement. Like I'm in my 50s. Like my daughter's going to be in college listening to Our Hero De Niro, connecting with her father and Uncle Mike in ways that she didn't even realize she could.
I don't know if she'll listen to this when she's in college. I hope that she'll be like doing better things.
Well, I mean, I actually think that what's likely to happen is like she'll listen to it when she's in like middle school or high school.
Yeah.
She knows about the podcast. She doesn't like it. Because like Caroline listens to it all the time, and like, so one, she doesn't know what a podcast is, right? So like, she just thinks that a podcast is just Our Hero De Niro. So like, if you talk about a podcast, she thinks that's what it is because it's the only podcast Caroline listens to around her, and she thinks it's really boring, so she complains whenever it's playing. So it's going to be really interesting over the next like 10 years to see like how that morphs and ultimately like results in her listening to it, because she will when she's older, but it's very boring if you're 3.
That is funny, right? Because it's like it's two adults having a conversation that she cannot interrupt. It continues on. That's really good. Okay, let's get back to this movie, right? Very plot dense. So Sympathy's in court. Bullwinkle is dressed like an old English judge with the wig and everything, and he fucks up the cross-examination of Sympathy. Does whatever you said earlier, like 5 minutes ago. The Judge Cameo, she like, things are going poorly for Sympathy until Judge Cameo puts her glasses on and then realizes that it's Rocky and Bullwinkle and freaks out and like loves them and says that because celebrities are above the law, that they're not going to be punished for their crimes, which was nice, a little social commentary. Yeah, exactly. And I like Guinan, aka Whoopi Goldberg. So I enjoyed that cameo. So the good guys, they're on the road again, back in the middle of fucking nowhere. They keep seeing the same place, and they stop at a farm to try and purchase an old biplane. But the problem is that it's too heavy with the 3 of them in it, which makes sense. Like Bullwinkle is literally a moose. And Boris and Natasha, they show up in a Geo Metro from Cheapo Rent-A-Car. I really enjoyed that because I noted that they were driving a Geo Metro, and I was like, man, that was a real piece of shit. Back in the 90s, like a Geo Metro, like a 90s subcompact car was like an actual death trap. Like nowadays, even like a subcompact, like a Nissan Versa or whatever, is so much more protective.
Crash safety rating. Like,
but back then, like you had like probably one airbag and the car weighed like 1,500 pounds. Like you'd be turned to dust if someone hit you in a Geo Metro.
So you know what this made me think about, actually? I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember it was probably like late Bush 43 presidency, like maybe 2005, 2006, when gas prices got really high. And this was kind of like, I think like this was partially the lead up to like cash for clunkers in the early Obama administration, that like, because gas was so expensive, there was this thing that happened where people were getting really into driving Geo Metros from the 90s because they got really good fuel economy. And like the resale value of Geo Metros like shot up for a couple of years because like everybody wanted some, because the car companies hadn't yet had time to react to these like market dynamics and introduce like better compact and subcompact cars. It's like, that's what I thought about. It's like, man, 5 years from now, like that thing would have sold for, 25% above Blue Book value.
That is crazy. No, I didn't know any of that.
Spent $4.80 a gallon on gas. Like gas was so expensive in like 2005 and 2006.
I mean, and those Metros got like 50 miles per gallon or something because they were so light.
Like, it was crazy. There were no cars that got that kind of fuel economy back then. Yep.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
A little bit of Geo Metro history for you guys there. Yeah, yep.
That's why people come to the podcast, man, for the Geo Metro lore. The discussions about Chrysler Sebrings. So Natasha expresses to Boris that she doesn't want to be a spy anymore. Like, she very correctly assesses their competency and like tells them that they suck, but they get interrupted by a call.
Something else,
you do literally anything else. Yeah, we're really bad at our jobs. They get interrupted by a call from Fearless Leader, and Natasha just lies and says that they killed Rocky and Bullwinkle because like she basically says like to Boris, like, what's the difference? There's no way they could get to headquarters by the time that Fearless Leader enacts his plan. Like, he can't be stopped. The plane is going down, but Rocky can fly again. And Bullwinkle takes the plane with sympathy, and they all head to New York City. So I guess losing a squirrel-sized amount of weight was enough to save the plane from free fall, and not the 600-pound moose. So we're in New York City at night. Robert De Niro, baby, got to end up in New York City. And the city is basically zombified by this point. Bullwinkle is gone. He has not shown up on time. So Boris and Natasha, they show up to the building. Good guys break into RBTV HQ. Fearless Leader manages to zombify Rocky with a TV signal, whatever. Yep. And it made me want to ask you, what show would zombify you? What show would hypnotize you? The way that like these dumb masses have been hypnotized by the allure of the television?
It's a good question. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's probably like, like some Twitch streamer I like, Like, it's like twitch.tv/Barbarous King. Like, yeah,
that is the saddest answer you could have given.
But that's the true answer. And if you give a different answer than that, you're lying. Like, because the corollary is like the shit you watch that is like the most brain dead, that like isn't actually like enriching you intellectually at all. It's got like, and I'm not trying to like indict the quality of the content or anything. It's just like, I don't know, like nobody's getting smarter watching a Twitch stream. That's what's dumbing you down, like content wise, So like, yeah, that's what it would be for me. It would be like, those toe YouTube videos that Caroline and I used to watch. Like, so for our listeners, probably up until about 2 years ago, Caroline and I got really into these Korean YouTube channels that are of like podiatrist offices who treat these elderly Korean men with just like horrifyingly disgusting like toe fungus infections. Like, you should link one in the show notes just so like people can know what we're talking about if they haven't seen it. But like, I am talking about like a toe fungus infection so extreme that like the toenail would rise vertically, not extend laterally parallel to the toe, but rise vertically like 1 to 3 inches above the nail bed of the toe. Like, this shit is crazy. And Caroline and I got really into watching these. It's just like, oh, it's so gross. It's like the best like mindless gross out content. But like something like that, like something on Twitch or some like totally mindless YouTube video would be my thing that would zombify me. What about you?
So we're really learning what a sick freak you are. Jesus Christ. I mean, when I thought of the question, I was thinking about it in terms of like what show would like be able to most fully capture your attention. And so for you, I thought you were going to say like Breaking Bad or like Succession or something.
No, because those shows, they stimulate you intellectually. Like,
yeah, okay. I mean, like, yeah, okay.
I think it has to be mindless. Like, it has to not stimulate you intellectually, I think, to have the effect.
I guess if we're going in that direction, then I would have to say just like whatever I watch on YouTube. That's like the lowest, I think, like form of content that I consume, because I don't watch reality TV or like short form video. So I think it is just like whatever. My YouTube feed is like movie, video game, and tech related content, or like car content. It's like whenever I'm watching a review about a car I'll never buy. I don't know, whatever. Something to throw on.
I mean, I think that like the thing about this, right, that makes like these answers that you and me giving the correct answers is that like, this was a joke, right? Like in the movie. But like the truth is, like, we are largely zombified by like the dumbass content that like everybody watches these days. Like, it's kind of become reality. Like, just like the mindlessness with which like people like scroll, like TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that. And like, I feel like this kind of zombifying mindless content is like, it's got a lot of eyeball share, like as far as content goes. Like, and it's I don't know. That's what I thought about while I was watching it. I was like, this was supposed to be a joke, but it's like actually kind of what's happened over the past 10 years.
Yeah. Another insightful question by me. I might not be able to. I might not be good at recapping, but I do try to like pepper in questions to provoke, inspire conversation. You know, it's all about the back and forth. Oh, we're near the end
these
though.
Things, we have a dialogue about them. Basically, is utopia. So,
my favorite quote from Megalopolis.
Yeah.
So the good guys break into RBTV HQ, and Rocky is zombified. Bullwinkle shows up to the White House and doesn't realize that the president is zombified. He's able to get right in. Bullwinkle is also zombified, but it's a fake out because apparently his like mind is so empty. It's explained by the narrator. His mind is so empty that the hypnotization process doesn't work on him. So he is still a free agent. He's still able to stop this nonsense, this malarkey. Sympathy's boss shows up, Randy Quaid, to meet Bullwinkle, and then they have less than 2 minutes to get to the headquarters in New York. So they decide they're going to email Bullwinkle and email him to New York. So Bullwinkle, this is a really late 90s, early 2000s thing. Bullwinkle enters the internet, and we get a sequence of him surfing the information superhighway, which is like him flying through like a blue, like late 90s 3D screensaver. It felt like Cyberpunk 2020. It felt like Johnny Mnemonic. That didn't work for me super well because it was so like early aughts, kind of a reference, but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Made me think about Reboot.
Yep. Yeah. Very Reboot.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that.
It's
Reboot,
not going
Beast
to be,
Wars. Yeah.
But like you saying this right now is making me think about how funny Reboot would have been as my recommendation.
Your recommendation? That would have been really good.
It's like more like very topical, like very funny, like 90s, like internet related visual storytelling.
Okay. So explain this to me. I missed this.
Okay.
Fearless Leader, he's giving his speech in his headquarters, and he has like a bunch of guests like hypnotized in their chairs.
Yep.
And there was some group of people who are like hypnotized, but they have been turned into literal vegetables. That makes sense. So like one guy is like
why they were there?
No, but I do remember that one of them was played by Doug Jones, who plays Saru in Star Trek Discovery. So there you go, Star Trek reference.
They were the previous, more on paper competent FBI agents who had been sent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And one of them is Doug Jones.
Like, this was the justification for the FBI, like division chief or whatever. By the way, his name's Cappy. Sending Karen Sympathy was that like the people who on paper would seem like they would work hadn't worked, right? And like who he knew was somebody who really loved Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, like, Sympathy was the unconventional choice.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, great. There's a whole scuffle. They destroy the office and beat up the goons. I don't need to go into detail here. It's your big action climax. They destroy the machine. They tell America to vote for who they want to in the election and destroy the brainwashing machine. And again, sci-fi thing that I didn't really understand, but Bullwinkle somehow managed to turn the villains back into 2D cartoons and shoot their ass off into the distance.
Yes.
The election takes place, and Rocky and Bullwinkle are stars. RBTV is renamed Rocky and Bullwinkle TV. Karen finally listens to her inner child and gives a heartfelt goodbye to Rocky and Bullwinkle. The birds are really popping off in the background. I think they want to participate in this recap. You know, Karen's inner child has some message about what you believe in when you're still young, or like what you believe in when you're young still being true when you grow up, or something like that. And it kind of felt like this film really trying to like find something heartfelt and inspirational to say in the last 5 minutes, because it really hadn't, like, to that point. I guess they established the inner child earlier, but it was like only the one-off. I don't know. What'd you think about that? Did it feel tacked on to you?
The gun to my head, I could not have described anything that happened in the final 5 minutes of the movie. I was totally zoned out by this point.
Oh, that's great. I'm
playing an exciting new video game right now. It's called Blueprints. Have you heard about it?
I've heard the name. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So I'm playing it right now, and it's really good. I don't think you would like it at all, but if you like this kind of game, you would really like it. And it's a roguelike. And I one more runned my way into not starting this movie until like 8:55 last night, which is pretty late for me to start a movie. And like, I had to watch it, right? Because we were recapping it today. So like, I had to last night. And I was definitely like, by the end, I was like, man, this is not good enough to like keep my attention. Like, it's like 10:25. I'm getting pretty sleepy. Like, I was not paying attention to the last 5 minutes. I was like, God, is it over yet? So like, I don't know what I thought about it. I don't remember, honestly.
Oh God. Okay. They part ways, and Karen returns to Oli, who's camping outside of the movie theater. They watch a Rocky and Bullwinkle movie.
This. Yep.
Yeah, the forest is replanted. Rocky flies around, and the movie ends. Great. That is Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yep.
I'm so excited. Let's get into our final ratings and discussion about Rocky and Bullwinkle. You got to hit me with it. What would you give? What did you think? What did you think about Rocky and Bullwinkle?
I didn't like it. For the viewers who were not keeping track at home, the traveling mattress salesman was the only time I laughed non-derisively. And I think that joke is incredibly funny. Like, it's so funny that like, I would love this movie if there had been even 3 or 4 other things about it that had made me laugh that hard. But like, I don't know. For me, that was like the only really funny joke in the movie. Otherwise, like, to our discussion, like, there's a lot of things that are like golf clap funny. You know, like the puns are golf clap funny, like the meta comedy is golf clap funny, where it's like, you got to recognize that it is funny, like in the way that like things are funny when I explain them that you hate, where like it's a very intellectual exercise. And I'm like, no, it's funny because, and then I explain the joke, but like the fact that I have to do that means that it isn't actually funny. Like, that's how I feel about the comedy in this movie. Like, it isn't actually funny. It's just like, it's like a computer's idea of like, of what comedy is. So like, no, I didn't like this movie. It didn't really work for me. I'm really torn on the rating. I think that I have to give it 2 stars. Like I kind of would tend toward 1.5, but I do think the performances are exceptional. And like, I'm happy for Robert De Niro that he got to make this movie. Like, I mean, like, he clearly,
God bless him.
Like, it was a passion project for him. Like, Hollywood, like, big shot Robert De Niro. He's at like the height of his career, right? Like in the 90s. And it's like, he finally has the like cachet to like make this like silly Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. And like, he also gets to star in it. Like, I mean, dude's living his best life, and he's great in the role. So 2 stars. That's the way I feel about it. 2 stars. What about you?
Hold on. You also needed to tell us, what did Caroline give it?
Oh, do you want to give yours first, or you want me to give Caroline's first? I was going to let you go next.
Yeah, do her. She's not a host. Do her next.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Caroline said 1.5 stars.
Whoa, 1.5. Wow. So she really didn't like it upon rewatching it, huh?
And Caroline, why don't you write into the podcast and let us know if this is like an accurate psychoanalysis. The way that I read that is like it's an overcorrection. From her knowing that we know that as a child, she like sought this out. She like had one of her parents like bring her to the movie theater, because in 2000 she was 10. Right. So she like asked her parents to like bring her to this movie. Like, it's not like she like went with her friends, so she's probably just like, well, I can't like it, So you're right in, Caroline. You tell us if you're right. I'm guessing it's like an actual 2, but like she's got to dock a 0.5 star for like for the shame.
So, okay. All right. Time to get to me. This film, as previously mentioned, was a critical failure. You gave it 2 stars out of 5. Caroline gave it 1.5 stars out of 5. On Letterboxd, it has a 2.3 out of 5. So your rating is pretty consistent with, I think what people think about this film.
Right. The modal rater. Yep.
I have to say, I liked this film.
I'm so excited. You're going to come out with like a 3 for this. I'm so pumped.
I am coming out with a 3 for this.
I love this podcast. These days, when I listen to Our Hero De Niro, I'm like, man, like, this podcast is really good. Honestly, like, I think it's good. And these are the moments. This is what our listeners are listening for. Like, oh, this is so funny.
Oh my God. I thought when you said
so bad, I'm giving like a generous 2 stars.
When you said at the beginning of the episode that you laughed, I was hopeful that we were both going to like feel the same way about this. The only ally I have, because I looked up this movie, I read about it afterwards, was Roger Ebert. He is like the only one who gave, yes.
Really?
Yes. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars in his review back in the year 2000. Yeah.
You know why that is, right?
Why?
It's because he's of the same generation as Robert De Niro. He grew up watching the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my excuse?
Yeah, I agree. Are you, were you born in 1945? Were you a teenager when Rocky and Bullwinkle was on TV? I want to make sure I'm right about this. Yeah, so Roger Ebert was born in 42. So he would have been like a little old, I guess. But like there wasn't a lot on TV back then, like in the 50s. We would have been 17 when the show first came out. And Robert De Niro was born in 43. Yeah, so they're contemporaries. Like they grew up watching the show.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I guess I should explain.
It's so funny.
For me, it was between 2.5 and 3 stars, but it was always a positive. I deliberately didn't like it on Letterboxd because I didn't want to like spoil that for you.
Yep. I'm honestly like really happy that you did.
Yeah.
Like, let that be like a surprise. Yep.
I'm always thinking about the pod.
Yep.
I of all the comedies we've watched, I think maybe tied with Meet the Parents in terms of laughs, but I definitely laughed more with this movie than I did during Dirty Grandpa. I liked its tone. I liked a lot about it, honestly. Like you said, the performances are fantastic.
Yep.
Everyone really commits to it. Piper Perabo is very charming. De Niro and Alexander and Russo are fantastic as the villains. They really feel like the cartoon villains come to life, which doesn't always happen with these sorts of movies. I liked the tone of it. It was just a very bright, like energetic, joke and pun dense film. I liked the narrator and his back and forth, his like fourth wall breaking back and forth with the characters and what was happening. I thought the meta humor worked, even though usually like nowadays, I feel like meta humor is so common. It feels overdone to me and kind of lazy.
I agree.
But this was 25 years ago, and I like that it went in that direction. Rather, it honestly kind of reminded me of, alt comedy, like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, like that sort of comedic vein.
I believe every word that man just said because it's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
Which I really liked. I thought there were a lot of genuinely a lot of moments were like golf clap funny, but I laughed plenty too. Early in the film, they're right after Rocky and Bullwinkle enter the real world, they try getting out of some situation. And so Rocky cries, "We have to get out of here." And Bullwinkle responds by going, "Quick, cut to a commercial." And then just like stands there. It's like, I don't know. I like shit like that. I thought it was funny.
That's good.
I thought it was charming. It felt like it was the sort of film where you could tell everyone was having fun making it. And like that's fun to watch. I think I had more fun because of it. You don't get that with a lot of films. And I think especially films like that, like the most obvious comparison is with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Say that 5 times fast.
It was almost my recommendation.
Right. That'd be the obvious. Not going to be mine either.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And that's a legitimately great film. But you think about a film like Space Jam. I mean, have you watched Space Jam recently in like the last 5 years?
No.
It really doesn't hold up.
Oh, that makes me feel really sad because in my memory, Space Jam is a masterpiece. If I rated Space Jam from memory, I'd give it 4, maybe even a nice 4.5, and I definitely heart it. Like, I loved that movie when I was a kid.
I think if you rewatched it, you might feel the way Caroline feels about this film. Because
that makes me feel really sad.
It's not bad. It's just... It's so thin. The way that you derided this film for like being so light on plot, for having nothing to it, like Space Jam is the same way. But that movie succeeds due to the charm of like Michael Jordan and the cast, and it's like the same here.
Michael Jordan's really cool.
Cool guy.
Yeah. So I just want to take this opportunity to reference something that Andrew shared with me when we were together over the weekend, and I think this is really going to brighten your day. It's also going to give you the opportunity to put a pretty funny sound clip in the edit. So Andrew told me over the weekend that my frequent refrain, "This doesn't matter, none of this matters," on the podcast makes him think about an Aqua Teen Hunger Force line. Do you remember the line now that I've said it?
Of course. You guys said it last weekend when I was on a call with you. I know the line. I know
perfect.
the scene.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. So we already talked about it. Yeah. So you put it in the edit there.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
The alt comedy of Adult Swim, to your point, does feel I think it would be generous to say informed by this, but certainly part of the same general comedic movement that was like kind of kicking off in this movie. And like, that is fun, you know, like that stuff is like Aqua Teen Hunger Force is really funny, you know, like, and it shares a lot of DNA with this movie.
Exactly. I'm definitely like, I might be overrating this a little bit, but like I wanted to reward it because I actually like, I liked it. I found it likable in a way that like I didn't with a film like Dirty Grandpa. And I think that deserves something. So 3 for me. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. It's certainly like an average Our Hero De Niro movie so far, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely enjoyed watching it a lot more than many of the films that we have watched for this podcast.
Yeah, and there are a bunch at this point. All right, so now we're on to recommendations. I guess what would you recommend instead of Rocky and Bullwinkle? And then I'll say what I'd recommend in addition to it.
Sure. So I picked this. This was tough for me, but I wanted to pick a movie I really loved. And I wanted to pick a movie that had a similar tone and came out around the same time and shared some structure with this film. And I think you're going to be excited about this recommendation. I think it's pretty off the wall, such that I think it would be insanely funny if it was also your recommendation. So I would like to recommend 2000's The Emperor's New Groove. Starring David Spade and John Goodman. I rewatched The Emperor's New Groove with my daughter for the first time probably since I was in college, maybe 3 months ago. And like, my God, The Emperor's New Groove rules. Like, so here are the things that it has in common with Rocky and Bullwinkle. One, it's got John Goodman in it. Much bigger role, but like John Goodman is an incredible voice actor, and like his performance in The Emperor's New Groove is fantastic. It's a cartoon. It has meta comedy. It has a lot of it. It came out just 6 months after Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's only 78 minutes long and also a road trip movie. You know, it happens in like, pre-industrial, like the Aztec Empire. So they don't have cars. But it is like, it's kind of like a people sort of at each other's throats, like sort of road trip comedy about, sort of slightly hapless heroes trying to escape from even more hapless villains. Kind of similar to this movie, but it's a masterpiece. You know, it's a 4.5 star film from me. Could be a soft 5 if I saw it in the right mood. It's certainly one of the 4 or 5 best like non-canonized Disney films. It's like you're not going to put it right up there with like The Lion King or anything like that. But if you set aside like Lion King, Aladdin, like Bambi, Dumbo, like all like the classics, and you just left the ones that like don't end up in the canon with them, like Emperor's New Groove is real good. It's really funny. It's a great movie. That's my recommendation.
Damn. I second that wholeheartedly. That's a fantastic recommendation. I haven't watched that film since I made a Letterboxd account, but I rated it 4.5 stars on memory. So it's also very short, so I might have to go and knock that out in the next couple of days. It great
goes down
film.
Real easy. It's such a fun movie. You'll laugh a lot. It's very funny. Like David Spade's performance is hilarious. Like, and Patrick Warburton. Like, we went on Soarin' at Epcot. You ever been on Soarin'?
No.
Well, Soarin' is this ride at Epcot, and the video that plays giving you the instructions about like safety on the ride and stuff is narrated by Patrick Warburton. And I was just like, over the weekend, I was just thinking about Emperor's New Groove. I was like, man, Patrick Warburton's so funny. Kronk is such a funny character. Like, just like, like cartoons, original himbo. Like, really, really good shit. Very, very good movie. So if somehow you haven't seen it, man. Right. If somehow you haven't seen it, actually, that led to Andrew remarking that, of course, his favorite Patrick Warburton performance is Joe from Family Guy.
But at 2x speed.
Well, listen, I heard him watching Family Guy clips near me over the weekend at 2x speed. It sounds insane.
Who's sober enough to drive? Okay, who's drunk, but that special kind of drunk where you're a better driver because you know you're drunk? You know, the kind of drunk where you probably shouldn't drive, but you do anyway because, come on, you gotta get your car home, right? I mean, what do they expect me to do? Take a bus? Is that what they want? For me to take a bus? Well, screw that. You take a bus.
Hey, Our Hero De Niro listeners, why don't you write in and tell us, maybe you watch YouTube videos at 2x speed. I watch nothing at any increased speed other than like Like if I'm watching work related content, like if I'm watching like the recording of a meeting I wasn't able to attend, I'll 2x it, like just like get through it as fast as I can. But like I would never watch something non-work related at 2x speed. But even if you do, would you ever watch fiction at 2x speed? Sound off in the emails. I'd love to hear if literally any human being on Earth other than our hero De Niro superfan Andrew watches fiction at more than 1x speed. You watch fiction at more than 1x speed, Mike? Like if you were watching like Star Trek clips on YouTube, would you ever watch them at anything other than 1x?
No, I don't think I would.
It's weird, right? Because the rhythm and cadence is an integral part of fiction in like an audiovisual medium. Like, right? Like the speed that the stuff is delivered to you is like, it is essential to the experience of the storytelling.
No, I agree.
Like if you're watching like a car review or whatever, like you're just trying to hear the information, you know, it's like,
see the quirks and features. My recommendation is so completely at the opposite end of the universe from what you just recommended. But I knew you'd come in with something that is like, similar to the film we just watched tonally. We didn't talk about it at the top of the film, but this film was directed by Des Micanoff. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I'm not familiar with him, but apparently he's like a serious director of like Broadway plays. And it was written by Kenneth Lonergan, probably mispronouncing that too. But he is the writer and director of the film Manchester by the Sea. And when I learned that information, I thought about it several times as I was watching Rocky and Bullwinkle. Like, I know that people contain multitudes and like he's a creative, but I just found it so fascinating that the same person wrote both films. So Manchester by the Sea, for anyone who doesn't know, it is a 2016 drama starring Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams. And it is the like one of the most emotionally devastating films I've ever seen. It is about basically Casey Affleck plays a guy whose older brother passes away, and so he has to return home to the town Manchester by the Sea to take care of his 16-year-old nephew, and is forced to confront his tragic past that led to him leaving town. It's a real like exploration of grief, really emotionally intense film, but one of the best films that I watched in the year that I watched it, which was last year. Actually, it was pretty high up there. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, I thought it was a great film.
Watched it. I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's extremely heavy, but I thought it was a fantastic film, really well written, well performed, well directed, and I just thought it was so funny watching this. Yep. I think you'll like it. And I just,
I'm sure I will. Much like Moonlight, I just never feel like I'm in the mood to watch like the saddest
I do actually feel that I've had that thought looking at my watch list on Letterboxd lately, where I'm like, this just looks really heavy. I don't want to do that at 8 p.m.
It's like, I don't know, like I'm chilling.
Exactly. But I think this is great recommendation wise because we really covered our bases. We have, if you want something that is like continuing the good times of Rocky and Bullwinkle, we have your recommendation, The Emperor's New Groove. And if you just want to try something different, you're not in the mood for this film, why not watch Manchester by the Sea? There you go. Now it's time to bring it over to the most exciting part of the episode. It is Mike's turn to roll this week.
It is.
You still hoping for a Silver Linings Playbook?
I'm geared up. Yeah, I am still hoping for Silver Linings Playbook. I'm gonna hit the button. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. We have rolled 40, which is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Wow. I don't know anything about this.
It's a Kenneth Branagh movie.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay. And we have Caroline as a guest on this one. So I guess she's got to watch Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and we'll have our second guest on next week's episode.
Second guest episode.
It's interesting. It's an interesting movie. Yeah. So
I hate the way you tease out information about films at like when we're talking about the next role. You just do the stream of consciousness thing.
Robert De Niro plays Frankenstein's monster. That's the role.
That's fun.
Like, no, I'm reacting to this in real time. Like, it's like not the role I would have expected that he played. Like, that's crazy. What a weird movie. I had no idea he ever played that role. That's he doesn't really look like Frankenstein's monster to me. Like, he doesn't. I feel like Frankenstein's monster is like, he's kind of big and like lumbering. Tall. Like Robert De Niro is more of like svelte. Like, how tall is Robert De Niro? Like maybe 5'11"? Like, he's not. I mean,
I don't know. It's like, it's a win for representation, though. This is the first time that there was an Italian Frankenstein's monster in cinema.
I'm pretty excited, man. I'm like, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super pumped.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope Caroline is ready to enter the octagon. We have a letter this week from friend of the pod, Philip, who at some point will also be a guest eventually when the role wills it. He writes, this was about our episode. This is referring to our episode about the score. He says, I'm going to do the bit. Apologies, Mike. Apologizing to me. Regarding what parts you two would play in a heist, I think Mike would be the guy in the van coordinating things, putting all the organizational and staring at large screens power to use. And Mike would be great at diversions, say as a lost tourist distracting the security guard with questions, an innocent face who no one would assume is in on it. So he clearly thinks you'd be that one.
I don't know if he does. I don't think it's that clear, honestly.
I think it's extremely clear.
We both could be either one. You think I'd be the hapless tourist, not the one masterminding the plan?
He didn't say masterminding. He said coordinating.
Coordinating, sure. You don't think I'd be the one coordinating the plan? I don't think I necessarily would be either, but I don't think it's like really obvious.
I think you're much more likely to be the diversion guy. You have like a more generic look, like a white guy with a beard.
That's true. Hey, Philip, why don't you write in, 4 weeks from now? And let us know who you met. Please explain yourself, please.
It's clear to me, Philip, but write in anyways. Now it's time to end this episode. Hey, thank you all citizens okay. How do I thank these people? Now it's time to end this episode. What a chat about the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I'm really glad we talked about this film finally. Follow us on Letterboxd if you don't already. I'm Mike back at you, and he's Mike the Fab. Email any feedback or questions to us at ourherodeniro@gmail.com. Rate us in Apple Podcasts or Spotify, why don't you? Because I keep saying it, and you're not doing it. It'd be great if you did it. It'd be really nice. I would see it. It'd make me smile. Thank you, Caroline, future guest Caroline, for our podcast artwork. And, come prepared. Come prepared to be a guest. Come prepared to try and talk over me and your husband. We love all of you citizens of De Niro Nation, and we'll see you next week with another episode of Our Hero De Niro.
Bye, everyone.